Yeah, well, here we go. Take two. We have done this one before with Gerry and operator error on my part. So we're here again, and which is really good because look behind us. What a view. This beautiful river. And Bob was out on the river earlier today or out on the ocean and catching prawns. He got a whole pile of them. Well,
Yeah.
three or four, but it's not even a meal, but it looked beautiful out there. And we watched them go by.
Went on to S41. That's where
Here we are today again with Consequential Conversations with a gentleman that I got to meet a couple of months ago when we first started this off. And like I said a moment ago, it was operator error, so we're back at it. And but his stories are fascinating. So I look forward to hearing them again. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bob.
Well, it's good to be here again. Nice to see the rivers calm down. It's a beautiful day. Last time we were here, it was flooding by.
Yeah.
Gerry Hickey. Gerry, I've known you for 60 some odd years or more, which is kind of a scary number. But we just loved our conversation last time was great, but we wanted to redo it now that we are, experienced podcasters now, and we've done a dozen or so of these interviews. We want to do a better one with you. Well, so how'd you get here? When were you born? How did you end up in the valley, or were you born here?
I was born here in the old hospital.
Old hospital.
The old
Free hospital.
Yeah, that's right. The real old hospital.
So there was three. I didn't even know that.
And before West Coast General, there was the old hospital.
Old hospital. And you were born there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was born just prior to my dad going to, he was a navigator on the British plane. I can't remember the name of it, but he was, I guess, probably I was one or two when he didn't make it back over the over to Holland, and
Oh, wow.
that's where he is now, still in Holland.
Oh, really? So you never really met your dad?
No,
Oh, wow.
Buried in Holland.
Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah, I realized that. Yeah. Wow. So,
that
yeah.
was a long time ago.
So that was in the 40s, I guess, or?
Yeah, it would have been the 40s. I've got several pictures of me in Edmonton when he was leaving to go over there.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But after that, I lived with my mom and my grandma on the corner of 4th and Apple,
Oh, really?
right down below the old post office.
Yeah.
He does a little post office. He wasn't here with.
Oh, the post office was near. Yeah, it was there. It was, I don't know if it was operating. No, it wasn't. But it was still signed.
Yeah.
And colored, and because it was a restaurant in there for a while.
I think of the guy's name, but he was a frontier or commissioner, and he was the only one in that hospital for about 10 years until they finally found somebody.
Doesn't matter.
Tracy and
Okay. You got me.
That's okay. It's a long time ago.
So back to your mom and the Air Force, and the Air Force contingent, because you told us a story first time about your trip up the lake as a young guy, and that was really eye-opening to me.
We took a Jeep, an oversized Jeep, and we were hauling the whole day up the line that went to Topino for their power line. And that you would go up the head of roadways and go up to the river. Of course, I was, in those days, I didn't know half the time where I knew most of the time where I spent was very close to my wife and my mother.
Yeah.
But,
Wow.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
So an Air Force contingent at Sprobe Lake that manned the telegraph line for the war.
There was a big float house where the trailer park is, and it's out in the ocean, and that's where the Air Force lived. And we used to go up there, and we would take, I would just go with my mom, but I remember once cutting my head open on the windshield of the Jeep, trying to go up the end of the river by what's the river?
Taylor River. Taylor River, yeah.
Yeah.
And then up to the
Up the head of Taylor River.
Oh, really? Yeah.
up almost to the Kennedy River.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they went.
Well, we met people with horses, and if we were told that if they weren't there, we left the hay and they would get there, but we didn't meet them. I didn't mean much to me because you're just a kid.
So then you grew up a little older, and we talked about the well. First of all, your mom as an operator, telephone operator, but at the army camp, and you talked about the socials and the dances that led to Teen Town.
Well, although mine, I was 10 years old. Mom stuck, and she spent a lot of time on Sprout Lake, and of course I was there, but not old enough to know what I was doing. But they had a float set up in Weiner Bay, right, or not, the side of Weiner Bay, where the landing is.
Yeah.
And those were the years of they had a crash boat they used to on the lake.
Wow.
Yeah, I can remember that because I remember I used to ride in the crash boat, and then we would get off at Taylor Arm in a Jeep and go up with I think it was 8 bales of hay we could
Crescents,
on the back, and
I know, yeah.
that was
So what years are we talking? Like
In the war, during the war, so
during the war?
43.
In the war? Right,
43.
Wow. Yeah.
I was almost born.
You were almost born.
Well,
Wow.
and it's funny because what did we have? Oh, you have a little tiny outboard engine that worked.
Oh yeah, little mini, yeah.
A little,
For toilets.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it used to be in the boathouse. And that's where you and I went down one time. We tried to get it going
Oh wow.
because something had happened to it.
This would be later in the 40s, but
After you were born.
they do it.
Because you had
probably
a little outboard engine.
So maybe I've known him for more than 70 years. Well, but my first experiences with him, he'd been quite involved with dances in Teen Town and stuff in town. But my first real experiences with Gerry was being afraid of him throwing me down the stairs at the Port Legion.
I remember telling us that.
He was a bouncer.
We were a big boy, too.
That's what Wally Fridfinson. Yeah,
40, G30.
Oh, wow.
and Wally Fridfinson was 6 foot something. I don't know if you know Ralph Fridfinson, his brother.
No.
Ralph's not that tall, 5'8", 5'9". Wally was 6'2", and these two would stand at the top of the stairs. They were the bouncers at the Nats. And I remember they must have, son, behave yourself or you might learn to fly.
Yeah.
I forget, what was that? Can't think what his name was. Somebody, I remember hollering at Wally not to don't throw him down the stairs. He's training to be a doctor.
God even told us that. That's right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and where was that? Where was that hall?
It was Port Legion, above Little Bavaria restaurant.
Oh, probably, but
There's a set of stairs that goes up. There's a up there. The stairs are still there, I think.
Yeah, we've been in that hall.
Monster set up.
You did on them.
Oh, yeah, I have your desk at the bottom. Yeah. I don't
That's
know
where
if
it was.
did you ever bounce at Nordley Center?
Yeah.
The Nordley Center dances, they were the riotous ones. The Kingtown ones were pretty well behaved. Nordley Center dances were...
And where's Nordleyson?
Down on Lower 3rd Avenue, 4th Avenue corner. It's just used to be community color. Sutter's place. How to put it? I don't know how to describe it. Southside Auto, just across the 4th Avenue side of that.
Oh, okay.
Nordley Center Hall. All still there.
Bingo in there now, I think.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So, and then I, as a young fella at 16 driver's license, I'd come to town. Sometimes I'd just park across the street and watch what went on. People getting thrown out, fisticuffs outside.
And he was the man behind that.
I think that, people got tossed out.
Was that a paid gig for you? Or you
I won $5 or something like that.
That's great.
There was, it was really interesting because both Wally and Gerry were so nice guys.
Yeah.
That it wasn't like some bouncers,
Yeah.
start fights. Okay,
Yeah.
just because of their manner. These guys were so pleasant. People didn't want to fight with them. They normally escorted them out.
Yeah. You didn't want to see them flying.
To the sidewalk.
Yeah,
That's great.
So another teen towns, and then Gerry, you had this town, like just tons and tons of experiences in this town. You know, not from your realtor days, but beginning before that. You know,
Yeah, it was,
you were a realtor for how many years?
20-ish.
Yeah, and you got some awards. I know that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that, but I did spend. I tried to think of what her name was. There was an older lady who used to look after McMillan, after Teen Town, and something happened to her, and they came and got me, and I think of it, 20-ish or 21. She said, "You're gonna be the adult advisor."
Adult advisor.
Yeah, because they had to have one.
Yeah.
To have Teen Town, and they had to have an adult
Yeah.
at the dance. And
So in our interviews and our fabric of the community,
Yeah.
we were with Ken and Linda White.
Yeah, we just ran.
I found we talked about it, and I said, Gerry talked about Mrs. McMillan at the Army camp in the dance. Linda said, "That's my mom."
yeah,
You know, it's
Small town.
It is a small town, and there's connectivity.
Every interview we've done, there's connectivity.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
It's they've all and some of them don't even they know each other.
Yeah.
But they never really bumped in, but they had this
No, we-
experience.
Yeah. And they know who each other is, right?
well, I guess when I first met you, it was because of Clay Ruggles.
Clay Ruggles at the lodge, yeah.
And he was a friend of Mung's. I don't know what kind of friend.
Clay was a ship jumper. Like he jumped ship here as an immigrant. It happened a lot in those days.
Oh,
Well, the ships would come into town to load freight, and if you were and these guys would jump ship and move into the community. Clay worked at the lodge as an illegal immigrant. You know, ICE would get him nowadays.
yeah. For sure.
And it would be probably less money for those who hired you.
Yeah.
Clay was a really good guy. I've got pictures of him at the lodge holding some fish. I think when they started building the Tofino Highway, the Kennedy River portion of the Tofino Highway and that, Clay went to work there. He went to work in one of the camps up there. And,
I don't remember much of that. I do remember you and a little outboard engine you had that we were trying to get going in the
boathouse.
boathouse.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Little wee tiny engine. That's probably one of your engines.
Oh yeah. So Gerry also became was an auxiliary RCMP.
That's right.
I ran into him again. I'm glad I knew him, and that he knew me, because he let me through a roadblock during the tidal wave, which was a mistake. Okay, he let me through the roadblock, and then the car broke down in the middle of the road.
The tidal wave, of course, was something that everybody that was there certainly remembers it. And the things that happened some of them were unbelievable.
Yeah.
People survived it with no.
Well, there was a guy who had a house, the only house on the corner. There was a children's wear, right where you pull in. I can't remember what their name was. And that big building floated across the highway and over by where the hotel is.
Now, the Greenport Hotel is now. Much less than that.
Oh, there.
It floated all the way that direction.
Oh, wow.
Gerry was telling us last time, for people who don't know, that breakwater at Clutha Sea Marina, that was a peninsula populated with houses and cottages and a motel, I think.
Well, actually, resort, 2 motels. They were old, shacky motels. The people that lived in them were... Well, I remember Ken Wiegand, to anybody who would remember.
Yeah, Ken Wiegand.
He lived in there, and when the tidal wave came, we had at home, I lived on the corner of 4th and Athol, down below the post office, and Mom was pretty easy going. Grandma had died by then, and every Sunday the kids were at my house. We would watch TV, and
it wasn't Sunday, it was Good Friday, but it was
holiday.
holiday.
Or it didn't have to be Sunday. It had to be
Holidays at Hickey's.
Yeah. And we went, we had, Christ, I had more people from the car club than they had in the Alberta police station, which was
Gertrude, in Alberta there, and it was in a flood zone.
Yeah. And we had guys drive. I drove a police car for a while, and there were other ones. There were interesting things.
They got called out because his mom was telephone operator.
So that's when
he alerted police. He did the emergency.
We got the emergency number. She started the whatever
she had to do to tell people, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was very interesting because, like, at the Alberta Street, or the Alberta Bridge, or what?
Texas.
Texas. Yeah. Well, there were things like I told a story about a guy that came and stood up on the end of the bridge and was thumping a Bible on his. He was wearing a white sheet, and he was thumping a Bible on his knee, and he was up on the end thing, and this is God coming to the end of the world. End of the world. I remember that. And I remember this big, tall policeman walking over there. He finally got tired. And he...
was this the night of the...
Night of the Hunt?
Wow.
Nicholson.
Oh, yeah.
Their house had floated away already.
Yeah.
Well,
it was the only house that was over the bridge.
Oh.
Anyhow, this policeman went across to this guy standing up on the bridge. He was greeting, your maker is coming. The policeman came up and he says, and I was standing right there, if you don't get down from there, you're going to meet your maker. And he climbed out, disappeared. Later on, I found out he was down at now we're behind Port Boathouse, and he was pushing lumber piles over people. Where did these people come from?
It was pushing them to go into the water.
They were precariously floating.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty easy.
So it's just making it worse.
I never did go. I didn't get down there because I drove a police car.
Yeah.
We haven't interviewed anybody directly in the Somass Mill or anything, but they ran 3 shifts in those days. All the mills ran 3 shifts.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Somass Mill was running during it, and there was guys in the machine shop or something got trapped with the high water.
Wow.
And one of those guys with the carriers, with the cabs up top, they drive and they lift the lumber piles and drive.
Oh around. Yeah.
He went around and rescued everybody with a carrier.
Oh, you're kidding.
Like it just and got them out of up to dry. Right.
It was
pretty amazing, eh? Yeah.
It was amazing that nobody got drowned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the people who were most amazed were the people that were there.
Yeah.
Because they were scared.
Yeah. Well, tidal wave. I mean, and it roared and crashed when it came across the flats here, and the booms all broke loose, and it waked up here. It was thunderous, and then there was all the sparks when the substation went up. It looked like fireworks. It was really something.
Then you wonder where these people have come from. I mean, I didn't, because there wasn't many people I didn't know here. And
yeah.
Some of the guys, like the guy standing up on the end of the...
Yeah.
And there was a policeman, and I packed at that corner where the flood came in. There were 2 old motels. And you were either 92 years old living in the motel, or you were a young guy that had 18 friends living with you. Yeah, Shanawhegan.
And these intrinsic... All there's motels at the pier there at Breakwater.
So last time, Gerry, you told us, we talked about the Duke, and you knew about the Duke uptown, and the Duke was a very interesting... We had a lot of characters in this town, Tapley, the Duke, all sorts of interesting characters, but Gerry was more familiar with the Duke than I was.
I enjoyed him, because, and so did a couple of the young ladies from town. I don't think they ever got involved with him, They met Friday night. Every Friday night, Duke was going for his night out. He came in from Franklin River where he told everybody he was a dishwasher. Or not a dishwasher, a cook. But he was a dishwasher.
Oh, yeah. I said he came from royalty and his family sent him here, but he dressed like it, but nobody knows for sure.
I guess I was one of the few that got into the Duke. He had, in the old bowling alley, there was a motel where, what would you know? What built it now?
Well, across from the Bread of Life, or that sort of.
Yeah, in the Bread of Life building.
Bread of Life building was, yeah.
So that was Salted Restaurant, and right next door was an apartment block, and he lived there, and he had 2 units. One of them was full of stuffy boss, like.
This is the Duke?
Yeah, he bought every time he came to town with a paycheck. No family, no kids.
Yeah.
No, and he just had paychechs, and they have good pay in those days living in Kent.
Yeah.
So he just spent his life stuff.
And there were a couple of ladies that used to meet Duke all the time at the Beaufort Hotel. I walked down there with him and go into it was a storage room, but it was one separate unit that was full of coats, sweaters, ladies wear, and he would buy them a present from this place. He was happy as shit, so they were happy. Yeah.
When the Duke came to town, he was wearing a dark suit, bowler hat, and always had a carnation or something in his lapel, and sometimes a cane. He looked like royalty. He looked like royalty.
So how old a guy was
said he was a cook.
And he was a cook, yeah.
How would he be, 40 or something?
A pearl diver, yeah. That's what they called him when he was a pearl diver.
So was he maybe 40 years old? I don't know when he was. He was older. When you're a kid, everybody over 25.
He was about 40, because he did full weeks at Franklin River Camp.
Yeah, he got class. Yeah, in the cookhouse camp, I think.
Oh, no kidding.
And we had the other crazy chap that used to ride his bicycle from way out Beaver Creek in and out. They said he was a lawyer, disbarred or bumped his head. We're not sure, right?
One of the Tapley story that I enjoyed so much was when the pulp mill was being built. Tapley got somebody. It was easy if you knew somebody, you could get. There was a number of stuff that disappeared.
Yes.
Like cement was one.
What didn't disappear? Just got redirected.
Yeah, redirected. And if you were building something and could use cement, it was easier than buying it.
Just get it redirected.
Yeah. What do you see?
Some birds?
Is that Mike Sorrell?
Next door?
Yes.
Yeah, Mike.
That's where Mike lives.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, but
his mom does.
Oh, his mom
Mike's, and it was up.
I thought he was out Beaver Creek or something.
He lives in, I guess you go in, I try to think what it's called.
Falls Road area.
He's
he's up there. Right?
You go in, where you go down to the river.
Yeah.
There's Maryland's Lodge was.
Oh, yeah, down there.
Yeah, he lives down there.
Hills. Oh, no, can I see your handles road?
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah, that looks like Mike's around.
Yeah. Well, he does lawns during the weeks.
Oh, yeah.
What's best for that? For you, Mike.
Yeah.
I hope he gets a phone call. So now you remember to call Mike if you need some lawn.
So we need to add it back to the Tapley story from the getting the concrete out of the.
Oh yeah, he bought some concrete from one of the constructors. One of the people.
He paid somebody to redirect it.
Yeah, redirect it somewhere. And so he put it into the barn. And the guy showed up, and he said, "Look, I'm going to bring it any old time I can." Well, I guess he took it after shift. And Tapley said, "Well, dump it here. We'll take care of it." And so I don't know what Tapley did, but he threw a canvas over it.
Forgot to deal with the concrete.
And he didn't do anything. And that day, so he had him out it. And it's somewhere else in Beaver Creek.
Most of it's still there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I hope, in our interview, we've name dropped some characters around town over the years in our interviews. And, I hope we don't run into too many of their family,
Yeah. There were a lot of people that we had trouble with over the years or whatever.
Some of our counselors. Well, you were a good friend of our mayor.
Yeah.
And
Which mayor?
Robertson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Jim and I worked together.
They worked together. A good friend of the mayor. We had a lot of interesting counselors. They're very active and aggressive. This time was boomtown in the 70s, 60s and 70s, 60s especially.
But
Yeah.
we didn't have the ones that they had in Albert.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. Well, the crazy. Oh, yeah. As long as what was the crazy mayor?
There was a lady mayor.
Yeah. Oh, come on! I'm gonna think of her name in
In Alberni or in
Alberni, right where the right at the foot of Johnson. That was Alberni City Hall.
Okay.
Right where the Indian people have that building.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right there.
right there. Well, in fact, it was more to the right, just straight ahead, right where the gardens are.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the old building was.
And there was a building there.
That was City Hall was there, Alberni City Hall.
Wow.
They had the council meetings there, and locals
Yeah.
used to come park outside the council meeting because they were live on the radio.
Charles Blair
What was her
came to church. He got
Mabel Anderson.
Mabel hammered him up.
Mabel Anderson.
Trying to get quiet. He was hammering, and she hammered Charlie on the hand.
Oh, with the gavel. Look how funny. The gavel.
And that's, I think that glass advertised everywhere.
So every time Mabel said something weird at the council meeting on the radio, people outside would honk their horns. And you'd hear honk, 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 because they didn't like her talking and what she said.
Yeah.
Trouble was I had my Model A, and it had an Uga horn. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
other horns just sounded like car horn. But when I did it, my parents knew that I was hassling the council meetings. I guess I was in politics as a teenager.
You must have been.
Mabel Anderson.
Well, I've heard the name Mabel, and I think Michelle, I forget her last name, but she lives in Mabel's old house,
Oh, wow.
which is right near Boomerangs and that area.
That could be.
Near where Dave Kozecki is.
Yeah, okay.
A little old house there.
That wouldn't be Mabel Anderson.
That was Mabel's house, yeah.
Wow.
Yes, it was.
We've had lots of crazy counselors, like we said, Hoffman,
Yeah.
Petronella Nelloeg. And we had some real and his friend the mayor had to deal with some of these people.
Yeah. Actually, Jim didn't want to be mayor.
No, he didn't.
Started.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He was he was a body man. Yeah.
Car bot, like
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he didn't work for the funeral home.
Look at
You can't.
all the birds in the headshots.
Oh, yeah. No, it's just
Quite amazing.
beautiful day.
Yeah.
What a nice day.
Yeah, no, Jerry's most likely got 1,000 stories, or one of the problems, and some of them can't be told in public.
No.
He had lots of friends that were characters.
Oh,
I'm thinking of Jim Finney and
yeah.
Cliff West and Gordy Pollard, and there was quite a fraternity of guys a little bit older than me,
Yeah.
and they just carried this town like it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was. I don't know if you call it party central, but it was a
It was a happening place.
happening place. Yeah.
There was Ray Bouchard.
Ray and Roger.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't have to throw some people out of Nordley because Roger was the older or the younger?
Yeah. Roger was the older.
One of the
Big one.
the big brother, the little brother would get in fights with all sorts of people, and the big brother would have to come and bail him out. Okay.
Roger was. I remember every time I had a problem with Roger, I would invite Cootie.
Oh, Kudnikov, Big George Kudnikov.
Or Archie
Color, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I saw Archie. He used to come in and if I couldn't get bouncers, I'd phone Archie and he'd say, "Yeah, I haven't been for a while." And he'd come down there. And
These are all loggers. Like, well, George Kudnikov was a longshoreman, and but these guys were known that.
And he never hit me, never fight with him. No. He would take a hold of him.
Yeah,
And just squeeze his wrist. So it looked down, and he had the white finger.
yeah. So interesting, George Kudnikov, longshoreman, but Jim Kudnikov, his son, worked for me. An absolute, and Jim was a genius in every aspect. Learned Japanese in less than a year, went to Japan, took an Aikido course. But John Kudnikov, George's brother, was Dr. John Kutnikoff, a professor at Simon Fraser University.
Oh, geez.
You know, like the family was,
Yeah.
they were had some real characters.
Yeah.
You know,
And George was a longshoreman.
oh, George was a crazy longshoreman. That and George, you know, I told you, George comes to me when I worked at Valley Outboards, and he said, "You don't need the welders over at Alberta Engineering." Oh yeah, I know McGonigal and all those guys. And then I need this cut, and he had this piece of cardboard thing cut with an I and a L on it, and all this. I need it cut out a 1/2-inch plate, and that right away. So I went over and got it done for him and did it to him. And the shift, he comes and he brings me a bottle of scotch. On one of the ships, all the scotch was in a crate in a cage down below where they were loading their stuff. They would drop this down through the grate in the cage. They'd drop it into the cardboard box. They'd pop the cart. And then they would drop a noose down. And one bottle at a time, they emptied the whole top row of the scotch on the ship. These guys did crazy stuff.
Oh, I remember it was a Japanese ship, I think. I know they were Oriental people of some sort. And I was working at Somass at the time. I only worked on the weekends. What do you call it? Clean up and stuff like that. And I worked for old Weeble, Oscar Weeble. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, and Archie worked there, or George worked there, and some of the things that happened down there just to me, you know, and it's
You got lots of stories, Gerry.
well, too many.
Too many? No, there's never too many.
Have slid away. So.
I think last time we talked about the goat ranch.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked the goat ranch with others. Oh, in fact, somebody, Al Boyko, tells us about the goat ranching, and he talked about the 3 Italian girls.
Yeah,
that worked at the goat ranch, and they made so much money they started the Three Sisters Cafe.
Yes.
Which had a different name according to him. Yeah. So the Duke must have known them.
So, did Jim Robertson ever end up working at port shipping?
You worked with us? No.
Oh, he started at port shipping. He did. He was at port shipping.
Yeah.
I think he was at port shipping when the other way to get booze off the ships were somebody from the ship, the purser, or somebody from the freighters, could go up with Moet or Jim or somebody at the liquor store and buy their liquor duty free without the tax, cases of it, and tax is still half the price of it was then too.
Yeah.
And these take these cases of booze back to ship and they'd put it in this locker in the captain's quarters till it got 12 miles offshore. Well, the longshoremen figured out how to put a back door on the locker. And wasn't bad. I don't know there was George Moet or Jim Robertson, but they're delivering the stuff and they're putting it in this side, and the longshoreman opened the door on the other side. The liquor it was just a flow through.
You know, to 12 years of liquor.
Yeah.
Jim brought, I don't know, I probably got involved in some of that because I know I did get the liquor.
Oh, yeah.
I worked with selling real estate at the time.
Yeah. I remember seeing your name when did you leave real estate? What year?
Well, they hardly did. Pat's still doing it.
Oh, okay, so I remember seeing the name Hickey on real estate.
No, they did a lot.
Yes,
yeah, that's very. And worked with Joe Van Bergen a lot.
Yes,
it's too bad. I wish we'd started this and talked to Joe before.
Oh, Joe was great.
I thought very highly of Joe. He'll be, he's good.
Character. Just a community person.
Yeah, I was fortunate to get to know him.
Gerry won awards for community, and he did a lot for community.
Half the Sprout Lake, though, the things that used to happen at Sprout Lake, other than the last
regattas, races, Hobie Cat races, everything. Everything. He was just a promoter to put the overall.
He resurrected it.
Yeah, but stuff like you and the run, these sort of things, and that he was quite a go getter to set stuff up and make it happen.
Yeah, what do you call it? We got to get the hall.
Oh no, there's probably
not hall. He was
helped build the hall.
Yeah. They did money.
The regattas raised the money to build the hall.
Yeah.
1953, 54. Yeah. Sport Lake Hall is still there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it being used?
It's so used right now. You got to get on a schedule. It's become so clinical and organized. It's not as much drop-in fun as it used to be. You can't just go there. You got to sign a waiver and you got to this and it. on the board, you got liability,
Oh, you got
personal injury lawyers, so everything has,
Oh, wow.
the world of rules has kind of overtaken us. But yeah, I like the better one of no rules. But by the way, I was fishing today without a license because it's
You were saying?
Forest, and I was going to buy one yesterday and I didn't do it. So
I'll cut that part out, Bob.
I'm glad I didn't catch any real.
It's now, like the old shed, are the tennis courts still being?
Oh yes, and these guys, and that's something he and Tony Dixon and that dug out the basement of the hall, concreted it, did that, helped build the tennis courts. They were involved in every summer student program that came along, hired and managed kids, and I took over from that when these guys quit. Chris Duncan and I started managing the summer programs to put up the fence posts, steal the posts off Mount Arrowsmith. And
that's good.
Tony was a school teacher. He did it like that, and
woodworker at the woodworking department of the IA at the high school.
Then we and I bought, or we bought the first lot. I gave some money. He bought it down in Banfield. And we built one house. He had it. And it was Tony. He got tired of working here.
Yep.
So he take a gang of kids down there and they built a log house.
Oh, wow.
In Weiner or
Grappler
Inlet.
Oh, gee,
And we had the lot next door to it. He and I bought that because
Jerry's been going down the inlet since a kid. And he was one of the first places in Haggards Cove.
Yeah.
Haggards Cove, one of the first houses. They had it for many years. Yeah.
That's why it was on the bottom of that hill.
On the hill. He didn't want to hike up the hill. He got one of the good lots right next to Haggards Cove. In fact, it was there before Haggards built.
Well, we ended up, Gerry and I, when we sold it, bought the lot.
Oh, you did?
Because we owned the lodge.
I thought it was Phil Chuck, but it was you.
He bought, Gerry actually owned it. But I was involved somehow, probably on money. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
very cool.
So the other thing that Gerry and Pat did a lot with the Pacific Salmon Foundation, and that every event, Gerry and Pat, Gerry especially, go down to the States and he'd buy, I don't know, fancy knives, watches, jewelry, anything that was shiny.
Yeah.
In a nice little case. And he'd buy all this stuff and then he'd come back and donate it to the Somass Foundation.
Nice.
And the stuff that he paid $10 for would go for $50 at auction.
Yeah.
Shiny, right?
Yeah.
Every
that's it. And some of the places, the foundation was good down because we enjoyed these trips. And
yeah.
I remember one up to, you had to go to Campbell River,
went out to
Stewart Island, and then you went across, and then you went up to
Big Bay, Stewart Island.
Yeah. And we were all gonna stay in up the top of the hill. They had a landing strip, and they had about 5 or 6 cabins, not cabins.
Oh, beautiful.
They were gorgeous. And these were for the pilots that flew these people into the paved runway. This side of the river was fresh water. This side was salt.
Yeah.
And they had this one over here so they could fish the trout that they had swim in there.
Water, trout in the lake. This is Dave Ritchie's place and Dennis Washington's place.
Oh, wow.
And through David Foster. In came Oprah Winfrey. That was a place on Stewart Island. It's Warm Springs Resort. It's called.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if she's around or not, but one good thing happened. Pat was walking up the runway, and she caught her foot on a knot hole, and she could hardly walk. But the guy says, "Well, you guys don't have to stay up in you can stay in his basement of the big house." And I thought, oh, that's nice. And get on and go. We went up to the basement of this place, and it was
Dallas.
really? It was unbelievable.
I mean, they built an airstrip up on the top. They blasted down, put it on 3 little lakes. One was for fish, one was for drinking water, one was for swimming. Yeah. And all in order up there, and that.
And the down the bottom there was a glass, and you can't call it a building, but it was like I don't know, but big, and it was about 3 stories high, and in the corner it had a coffee making machine or stuff to still there, right down by the water's edge, and it was a big. It was beautiful, and the money down there was unbelievable. But she fell. We were on our way up to the.
Couldn't hike up and down the hill, so they got to stay down. They got the good accommodation. I got to stay up at the up at the.
We stayed in the basement, and in the basement, I walked over one here. There was a bed for us, and Pat was not doing much walking or anything, but over on the side there was a bunch of rods, and I started looking at these rods. And at the time, I was in the sporting goods. They were all Fenwicks. And, it was not everything. Fenwick wouldn't get in there. They were custom. These were real rods.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And the expense that was there. And the guy that was there that we talked to said, not many people come anymore.
No, one for
that is for really.
Richie's place up there, they have a barge. And the barge is a party. It's a big barge, like 120 by 70 with a building on it. And in the basement of the barge is a wine cellar and liquor store. And I got one peek into it one time, but our daughter got in there this last summer into it. There's millions of dollars worth of liquor on this barge.
Wow.
And a beautiful bar and stuff. And then they have up on the shore, they have a hull of about a 60-foot boat upside down on posts. It's the roof of another bar.
Oh, jeez.
And unbelievable what was, in the middle of nowhere. Stewart Island. From Sonora Island.
They don't know how to spend. They don't know. They've got so much money.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with it.
And they built the runway. And that was so they could fly in their amphib turbo otters, twin turbo otters. But Dennis Washington in Missoula, Montana has a 737. And they wanted to extend the runway, but they ran out of island. So at one point, Dave Ritchie and Dennis Washington, they were going to build a bridge extension to the runway out over the ocean so that the 737 could land there. So it had nothing.
Oh, wow.
It got shut down by the government because I guess you can't really appropriate a property. Like he couldn't build out across the structure.
Yeah.
So it never happened. But Dennis Washington built a golf course on a rock island.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of work. So they have a 9-hole golf course and an airport on an island that would be just a rock bluff down. Down to any of our islands down the canal, Copper Island or Diplock or those. Tell me that you could build a golf course and an airstrip. That's what they did.
But
if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. These were the things that we. I guess this was
we got. That's what we got for going and volunteering at these events. It was pretty cool.
Very good.
And Gerry and I, with ice cream pails on our head, selling double row tickets because we ran out of we're at one event here where everybody bought everything. The draws, the card draws for the rods and reels, the card draws for the shotgun, the thing for the diamond ring in the case, and that people still want to spend money. So we ran into the office and got a double row tickets, and we came out with an apron and just 50-50 and just started. We had, most likely wasn't on our gaming license, the 50-50.
Probably did, but
there another $1,000 or $2,000 raised. And just
that's great. And there was that kind of money out there. There was a young lady, I remember, coming up to me, and I was standing up selling tickets or something. I'm doing something, making money, and she says, "Can I buy some tickets? I've got to get back to work, or I'll be." And she maybe that's why I came here. I think.
Well, we clearly we could go on forever here. So this has been a great interview. Thanks for letting us come back. And you know what? We just love the view.
I hope the words come across on the speakers.
Oh, I think sure
will. I'll take some pictures of them.
Yeah, I think they will.
The interesting thing is that right now those birds in that hedge have half. The little ones
that would be
and all the ones on the outside, I'm assuming, are male.
Oh,
they've been
I don't know if they're kicked. They're not allowed to go in anymore. They sit out in the sunshine, and
Well, Gerry, thank you very much for having us again.
Yeah.
I want to thank Pat for the coffee again. It was really
Thanks, Gerry.
good. Last time she had cookies, but I won't come late.
And when are we having
An event?
a function?
I don't know. We'll work on that.
So there you have it. Consequential Conversations. Find us on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And this is going to be a really, really fascinating one to listen to. So I encourage you and keep following us and stay tuned for the next one. Bye for now.